I feel like, personally, for me, haven't seen much about South Carolina. Are people sleeping on the reigning champs? Like, why are these guys getting counted out, or at least not having the spotlight that we're seeing from? I mean, even UCLA, USC. Are we sleeping on this team? I feel like I haven't seen much at all.
So I'm really glad you asked that because I feel like I've been silently thinking it that there's not enough noise about South Carolina.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that has to do with there's a lot of really top players, for the season right now, right? You got Paige Beckers, you got Olivia Miles, Hannah Hidalgo, Juju, all these big names that everyone is honed in on. Meanwhile, South Carolina's in the background, like, hey, we're just gonna keep rolling here, right? They've got a third straight SEC conference title now, and the thing becomes now this question that people are talking about. Well, are people sleeping on them? Are they the favorites? When have they not been the favorites? Like they just won last year. And might I add that it was an undefeated season in the middle of like Caitlin Clark going absolutely bananas, right? And then they did it with an entire new starting lineup, five brand new starters. And they've come back and, they lost what, three games? And people are all of a sudden are like, no, I can't even rock with them, right? And which is wild because you lose three games, you lose Ashlyn Watkins for the rest of the season, and you're still right back where we thought, South Carolina would be if you were thinking this way at the beginning of the season. So I'm not really sure why it got lost in translation here. I think a couple of those losses were probably surprising. Maybe the UConn loss is probably why people were like, oh, I'm out on South Carolina. But don't forget, South Carolina is good at this for a reason. They've got Don Staley, one, and two, they're one of the deepest teams in all of college basketball. That's what makes them so darn good. Just when you think you've got the starting five, figured out, the bench has come to play as well. And I think that's what makes them
Hmm.
dangerous. So don't sleep on them because they very well could repeat. And I'm going to call that and say, yes, it's possible that South Carolina repeats.